Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage for yet another episode of Fiberglass and Race Truck. So, as you guys saw in the last episode, which if you haven't, make sure you check out. Also subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, in our last video, with the help from MD Diesel Fab and his sweet little mock-up rig for our bedside, we got our bedside all mocked up and in place. So last night I didn't want to make a template for this thing because it was all rainy and just kind of nasty out. Well, today, well, Mother Nature's trying to dry herself out. She's just windy out there and chilly. So it's cold outside, it's rather windy, so we don't have the garage doors open. I'd rather do this outside, but instead you're gonna have to put up with the heater going on right now. So anyway guys, like I said, we're gonna be mocking up this, well, we're not gonna be mocking it up. We're gonna be making our bedside fit the truck. So, as you guys can see, we have the bedside installed. Our body line's looking pretty good. We got everything pretty well laid out. Now, it does look a little funky because the bedside is sticking out on the bottom because of our wheel and tire. But we do have it kind of where we want it. Now, on the factory bedside on Caitlin, we're about 1.25 inches here for a gap. When you look at the truck, unless you're looking for it, you don't really notice it, but the gap to the bedside, to the cab, just, it looks pretty big when you're looking for it. So I'm going out there trying to eye this thing up, looking at that truck, because it's a complete truck, and it just looked like an awful big gap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually close it up. As you can see, I have 3/4 inch here. We're gonna make that a 3/4 inch gap, kind of make that body line a little tighter and all that. Now, that being said, we did use our previous race truck bed for a template for this because Caitlin has the fender flares on her and all that. Not that that would probably make a difference, but I just thought it would be easier to use our cutout bed because Caitlin has the wheel well liners and all that, and trying to get up in there just be a total pain. So we used our other bed to make this template right here. So all I did was take this kind of thin cardboard. I just taped, the big sheet up against the truck, drew a line from the inside out with a Sharpie, and then we cut her out. So what we'll do is we'll get our template in place and tape it up there to get our wheel well, kind of looking all right and perfect. Then we will go ahead and cut this thing out. Now, for that procedure, we might actually crack the garage door and do this outside, so we're trying to make less of a mess in the garage for once. I know it's kind of foreign for me to not worry about making a mess in the garage, but hey, if I can do a little something, and that with the wind, it'll kind of keep the fiberglass out of my face and all that. So let's get to making bedsides for the truck. Well, we're looking like a truck again. So we got our wheel well cut out. It's amazing how it kind of brings everything together. When we got that wheel well in there, rather than that kind of panel van vibe we had going on before. It has warmed up outside, so we're gonna leave the garage door open and the heater off. But anyhow, got the wheel well cut out. Pretty simple process. Just kind of followed our line with our jigsaw. We do have some areas which kind of looking at it, maybe that's just the Sharpie, but where we can sand down, kind of make it a little smoother. But I'm very happy with the result. Definitely a little bit nerve-wracking, kind of thinking about this before we actually got into it, because you know, you get one chance to cut this thing and do it right, so we don't want to screw it up. So just take our time with the jigsaw. I had the jigsaw going at full bore just so it had kind of shorter strokes to my pushing, but just took my time, followed that line we had made, and yeah, it really puts the thing together. We do have to bring the front end, or the top end, in a little bit, which I guess this thing's kind of hanging down, but with the help of our MD Diesel Fab bracketry that he helped, that he loaned me, we can do that rather easily. We will have to stick something in the bottom portion when we come up with our mounts, get that all figured out, because as you can see, it's kind of hanging in there. But once we get it pulled out, the body line looks pretty good. We will have to kind of double check everything and all that when we get our mounts made. But I'm very happy with how that turned out. It just, look at it. I mean, it just sets the truck off. It makes it look like a truck again. This is the first time this thing's looked like a truck, since we pulled the bed, over a year ago? Maybe a year ago, something like that. I guess probably last, yeah, it's been well over a year since this thing's had a bed on it, or at least what looks like a bed. So, all right. So anyway, that's enough rambling. Looks good. I'm happy with it. Let's do the passenger side. Same thing. And yeah, make this thing a truck again. Yeah, make the race truck great again. All right, so similar to the driver's side, well, not similar, exactly the same as the driver's side. Wheel well in, looking good. Very happy with how these cutouts turned out. I certainly, like I said before, was a little bit nervous. I mean, you're cutting a panel out and all that, but got her in. She's looking good. I'm very happy with the overall look of the truck. I mean, it's amazing. Just putting bedsides on this thing, it looks like a truck again. It looks like it's supposed to. So anyhow, now we are going to figure out exactly how to mount these things. You know, the inside of these is kind of curling in a little bit, or not curling in, but they're sitting in, because we're supported up top but not on the bottom. Not a big deal, so I got to figure that out, kind of get everything lined up where we want, figure out exactly how I want to mount them. So looking from the rear of the truck, what I think I'm going to do is basically just put a bar up here, and then a little rod out, to the bottom of the bedside on either side, and then on the back here, kind of the same deal. Just have a little rod coming out. Probably two. Got to support it on either side of that tire. I think. I don't know for sure. Once again, something I have never done before, but we will do that probably, and just kind of bring a bar up here. I don't know how exactly I'm going to fasten it. I have a bunch of those push button latches like we have on our front hood. I might use those. Like I said, I haven't really thought about that yet. Well, I have thought about it, but I haven't really decided on the game plan. So I'll figure out how to get these things perfectly mocked up, figure out our mounts, and hopefully by the end of the day, this look will be the permanent look, or at least the removable look, because I definitely want to make these removable. Well, let me correct that. Easily removable. They're going to be removable because we can't weld fiberglass to metal. Well, I guess kind of we can. Anyway, we're going to make them easily removable. So we'll figure it all out and get these things mounted. Well, our bedside is mounted. So we have two push buttons, two of these push button latches installed. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it, to be honest, because if you look at the bedside, it kind of comes up where these things are sitting, because all I did was basically use a little plate. And as you can see here, this one's not done. I didn't cut off the excess of the little plate, but I just welded the nut on the back side of that and then welded that to this bar. And that's how we mounted these. We just used a bar on either one. It's definitely not as rigid as I want. It's got some flex to it. So as you can see up front there, I have a ratchet strap. So what we're gonna do is we'll tie that one into the down bar. This one in the rear, what I'm thinking is when we come out of the frame to do the back of the bedside and the back of the wheel well, we'll probably run something up to that to kind of triangulate this and give it some strength and see how that does. But like I was saying, what I'm not happy about is kind of how you see the push button latch, how it kind of curves up there. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but it definitely has a little droop on either side of it. So I don't know what exactly my game plan is to correct that. I don't know if when we put our support down below, if we can, kind of right the panel. If we pick up on the bottom of the panel, it kind of straightens up a little bit. So when we put our bottom push button latch in, we may kind of lower this thing and then make it so we got to lift it up, just so we can get it right. Like I said, it's, the front one is definitely more predominant than the rear, because our little fabrication jig that we have here actually supports the whole center section. So yeah, and that's another thing. If we add another brace in the middle, that may help as well. So yeah, I mean, not happy about that. I'm happy about the rest of it, because it just looks good. I mean, our body line is right. Everything's looking good there. I mean, it just looks like a truck again. And if we get down low, our body line over here from the cab, I guess it could stand to go up in the rear a little bit, but yeah, pretty close. So I'm very happy with today's progress, but honestly, I'm all bedsided out. Definitely time consuming, bit of a pain trying to figure everything out and get it all exactly how we want it. So I'm happy with what we got done today. Really just getting the wheel wells cut out and this thing mocked up, I would have been satisfied. So the fact that we have this one kind of mounted with our push button latch, which does make things easy, we just kind of pick up and pull off, and then there, back on. So push button latch is definitely nice. So we can remove this thing quickly, but we're gonna need some more bracing. So I don't know 100% what that looks like, but I already kind of told you guys what I'm thinking at this point. So anyway, she looks like a truck again. I'm excited. We'll get our bracing all figured out once we get the driver's side done, like 100%, because like my welds are just tack welds. They're not fully finished welded. But once we get that done, then we will hop over to the passenger side. I don't know if probably won't be tomorrow, because we are actually out of material, because we also have to do the bottom of the bed sides and all that. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys are excited about the race truck progress. I am. I know I am. Also, I have had a lot of comments about what am I doing with the tow rig? What am I doing with Caitlin? Well, Caitlin will be going bye-bye at some point. We have put an order in. So I'm very particular when I'm spending my money on what truck I want. Well, Caitlin's the first new truck I bought. You know, used market's a completely different story, but buying a new truck, I want this, I want that, I don't want this. You know, I'm very particular. So we had to make a factory order. Who or what it is, you know, well, who, as in which manufacturer and what, you know, all the specifics are, well, you guys are going to have to wait. I'm sorry, but I got to keep you in suspense. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrench on your truck.